Hello everyone, I'm Kinda Tony, and welcome back to Dishonored. Today we're just gonna get straight into it. So, the Hound Pits Pub, Hidden Allies. Hidden in an old bar on the river, your new allies have plans to share with you. Meet with the Loyalists' inner circle to learn what they've got in mind.
This is the Hound Pits Pub. Closed for business. Half the district marked off as dead from the plague. We're right under the Lord Regent's nose, and he don't know a thing. Of course, if anyone finds out what we're up to, the Watch will break in with swords drawn. And now that you've escaped, the Lord Regent's going to be tearing the city apart. Take you up to meet Admiral Havelock and the rest of the Loyalists. The Admiral's a man to be reckoned with. If anyone can help you find that missing girl, Lady Emily, and clear your name, he can.
Clues? Samuel the boatman has smuggled you across the river from Coldridge Prison. He works for an underground movement opposed to the illegal reign of the Lord Regent and has brought you to meet the members of the organization. Yeah. Oh. Didn't really mean to do that, but sure. Yeah, grab a smoke and I'll just have a little look. Hello.
Welcome to the Hound Pit Pub, sir. How may I help?
Hello, sir. I am Wallace, and this is Cecilia. We have been informed of your arrival and will do our best to stay out of your way while you conduct your business.
Yes. Lydia's a servant here as well.
Yeah, okay, I didn't mean to go straight to the main objective, but I guess that's what I did.
Even after 6 months in Coldridge Prison.
Sup, you wanna come in?
I expect they're hard at work in there. Let's join them. They'll help you get whoever really killed the Empress.
It's still amazing.
Okay, so there's a lot of places to look at here. Is that where the Hound Pits are? Okay, let's do what we're supposed to, I guess.
But it's a fair point, as always. He'll be here soon, and I'm looking.
We can continue this later, Lord Pendleton. The man of the hour is here. Corvo, I'm Admiral Havelock. A true servant of the Empire, like you. Until the Lord Regent purged those of us who wouldn't recognize his claim on the throne.
And I'm Lord Trevor Pendleton. I represent the nobility in our little group. But we all act as equals here at the Hound Pits Pub.
This is a momentous occasion, Corvo. I'm going to come out with it. We've been building a coalition of loyalists, aimed at ending the Lord Regent's tyranny and restoring the throne.
At risk of execution, we're committed to finding young Lady Emily and seeing her crowned as Empress.
We've got big plans, but we can't do any of it without you. We need your skills, your ability in a fight, and in helping us, we're going to help you destroy the men who murdered the Empress.
Sorry, you must be exhausted. We can discuss this further after you've recovered. But before you retire, you should introduce yourself to Piero. He's challenging at times, but his industrious mind buys him that right.
Yes, Piero's as much an artist as a technician. He's going to be crafting the gear you'll need. Go talk to him, and then get some sleep. We can talk more when you've rested. Good to have you with us, Corvo. Nothing against the others, but there's no substitute for a man who's done his service for the crown.
Alright, alright.
Stay alert and stay loyal.
talked to Piero yet? He made the weapons
Do you
and
think
left
I
you
have?
on your way out of
I've been here all the time, dude.
Go see him when you can.
Yeah. Okay, I'm getting lost again. I'm gonna talk to the guy. I say, and immediately trail off somewhere. Yeah. The Lord Regent is a shriveled prick and a liar. Alright.
I'll be crafting your weapons and gear. All custom work. For you, I will create the tools of a master assassin.
Sounds good.
No! This cannot happen now. The tank of whale oil is running. Will you get a new tank from upstairs, please, while I hold this in place? Be careful. Oil's unstable. When it explodes, there's a terrible mess.
Ooh. What's that? No, just coins. Sokolov Technology and the New Age. Excerpt from a recent book detailing Sokolov's machines. One of the advantages of Sokolov's technologies is that they share the same magnetic socket for the tanks of processed whale oil they use as fuel. When a tank is exhausted, another can be plugged into place with ease, and the process is simple enough that any common workman or even the lower guardsman of the city watch can handle the task. This applies to the arc pylon and wall of light security systems, as well as the powered carriages used for transport by those few who are wealthy enough to afford them. The only obvious downside of Sokolov's designs is the volatility of the tanks themselves. A few incidents have occurred, resulting in damage to property or bodily harm whenever one of the tanks has exploded. Sounds neat, but also scary. Volatile. There's a lot of stuff here. A second solution. Oh wow. Okay. Excerpt from a series of newspaper articles from prominent natural philosophers by Piero Joplin. It is through no fault of my own that the average citizen has expressed a preference for Sokolov's elixir over my own formula, sold as Piero's remedy, a name I did not choose if you must know the truth. The public has spoken its usual message of idiocy, spending their coin as a means of selecting Sokolov's formula over mine, which I believe to be equal, if not superior. Much has been made over the popularity of these concoctions as a means of resisting this remarkable new plague. I say remarkable because this strain works with an efficiency we have not seen in the history of the Empire. This plague, now making its way through the city of Dunwall, is unrivaled in its effectiveness. I have studied it within the blood of those so afflicted, and it is nearly perfect. Elegant, in fact. And while it is true that Piero's remedy and Sokolov's elixir are known to protect the body against the plague equally, my own has properties not fully understood which relate to the mind itself and the spirit. And it is in this way that my formula wins out. Here is where one should pay attention to this contest, for you see, Sokolov's elixir, with its emphasis on the brute animal body, is a crass goo better suited for livestock. These subtle and secret variants in the key ingredients making up Piero's remedy ensure that it works on the higher functions that separate humankind from the mindless, blue-jawed hagfish swimming in the Wrenhaven River. Okay, that sounds powerful. And Piero's request is denied. Piero, no, I will not sign off on these purchases. A bag of powdered crystal, Tivian ore. What's wrong with the metals in crystal? King sparrow feathers? If you need feathers, sacrifice your own pillow. Maybe at the academy everything you needed was paid for by tariff and handed out willy-nilly, but this is my bar, or what's left of it, and we're operating on a budget. We're running low on oil, food, elixir, building materials, and everything else, so you gotta slow down. While I'm footing the bill, I will not approve your purchases unless they're absolutely required. No more copper wire or special herbs. If you need those things, go out and scavenge them. Half the city is in ruins, so no one is going to miss any of the odd crap you seem to need. Admiral Havelock. Yeah, it ain't easy being a scientist, is it? Oh, Jesus. Dead counter responsibilities. Excerpt from a manual on new City Watch procedures. Commissioned by the Lord Regent in the face of the growing plague crisis, the dead counter is a position that will only be given to officers, usually of junior or middle grades, in most matters of edict or curfew enforcement. These officers will defer to the acting officer on duty. However, any dead counter will have command in situations related to the plague and the handling of the dead, including those with late-stage plague symptoms called weepers in common parlance. So that answers my question about the weepers. I've been wondering what those are. So, weepers are late-stage plague symptom. Well, people with late-stage plague symptoms, I suppose. Starting in the month of rain, interested officers may apply for the test and, if accepted, for the 2-week training tour. Pay will be administered in coin and rations of elixir at 1 1/2 normal pay grade. Okay, so that actually answered a question. That's nice. Failed experiments. Excerpt from a series of lectures on natural philosophy by Piero Joplin. Of course, I have attempted to improve upon Sokolov's designs. Of course, and why not? After all, it is likely that his thinking was influenced in some small way by our time together at the Academy. We are all part of a community, striving to unknot the mysteries of the cosmos. Even those among us who possess the greatest minds are often led to a fruitful line of consideration by, how does one say it, our intellectual subordinates. Sokolov is no exception to this, despite the glamour of genius he has cast over the aristocracy. And further, it is true that many of my experiments have failed. No need to gossip about it behind my back in your social clubs and in the very chambers of the Academy itself. Great ambition requires risks. You may laugh now at my door to nowhere, but someday you will not. Your children will likely see it as commonly as you see the electric lamps lighting our streets at night. But a few short years ago, you would have laughed at Sokolov's arc pylon or wall of light. Your laughter, your condescending smiles, they are nothing but evidence of your own limited imagination. Well, I mean, you have to fail to really get anywhere, so good on him. Whale vivisection. Excerpt from the notes of a natural philosopher aboard a whaling ship. Remarkably, each specimen I had the pleasure of studying during the voyage possessed some minor variance in physiology. On the second leg of the trip, east of Tivia, the crew hauled aboard a female, some 42 feet in length. I estimate she weighed 35 tons, and the ship sat low, rocking side to side through the night with her thrashing. By candlelight, I took her apart, sketching and taking notes. Against her bellowing, I cut into the mass of tentacles around her mouth. Within, I found row upon row of teeth and a baleen. What is that? Running along the upper jaw. Through this broom-like structure, I assume she filtered food from the water that was too small to be chewed. Okay. I have no idea what a baleen is, but interesting. Okay, we'll read them. I just want to look around a little bit. Whale oil refilling station. Sokolov no longer has the upper hand with regards to supplies of whale oil. The good admiral has paid for the installation of my own system, which will enable me to work in this place. The oil tank dispenser, when activated, will produce an empty vessel for filling. When the empty tank is held near the oil tank refill pump, the magnetic attractor should take the tank and lock it in the correct configuration. Using the lever will begin the refilling process. Once refilling is completed, the tank can be removed and placed in service. Extreme caution must be used in handling the full tanks. They are quite unstable. The system is sound and well engineered. It appears that the Greaves Oil Company has done something correctly for once. Okay. And this one, whale oil processing. Excerpt from the founder of the Greaves Whale House by Ebenezer Greaves. Out at sea, they secure the beast with hooks, with lines cast from the main ship and from several smaller boats. Buoys keep the whale from diving deep. Once it's caught, a larger hook is driven through the tail, which is used to hoist the creature up through the chute. They moan and bellow for some time as the men get them onto the deck, then lift them into the scaffolding overhead. The ship adjusts its prow and returns to port in Dunwall, where the crew works on the great creature, slicing off the fattiest parts while it still lives. It's kind of awful. Why does it need to be alive for all this torture?
Perfect. Now plug it in.
Yeah.
Jet? Perfect. Thank you, Cole. Here, see? The assassin's mask. You're a wanted man, so everyone in the city knows your face, but this mask will mean terror to them. If you just hold still, the fit must be precise. There. Can you see normally? Center lens out of alignment. There. Better now? I could create more for you. Upgrades for your gear, weapons, munitions. But our situation here is desperate. Scavenge the city for valuables and I will resell them on the black market. That should give us the money to craft the things you need. Tell me what I can make for you.
Okay, so that means that's what I need money for. I've been wondering what the coins are for. And also, that mask looked pretty cool. Yeah, let's have a look. Oh yeah. What is this? A trap that can be placed on nearly any surface. That's nice. Rewire tool allows you to rewire circuitry and turn security systems to your advantage. That also sounds pretty useful. But we definitely need... I'll just have 10 of these. And... a spring razor trap can be attached to any surface by aiming at it and pressing right mouse button. It will be triggered as an enemy approaches it, throwing up a cloud of shrapnel. Yeah, so this is definitely lethal. I don't need many of that. Rewire tool. Disable security devices or make them work in your favor by using a rewire tool on the circuitry panel for the security device you want to hack. This consumes the rewire tool. Rewired walls of light, arc pylons, and watchtowers will harm your enemies instead of you, while rewired alarms will be fully disabled. Okay. I think having a couple of these could be good. And then... yeah, I mean, that's probably fine. And upgrades, I didn't even see that menu. So now I spent too much money already. Okay, so there's capacity for stuff, optics, what is that? Magnifier view. And there's radius and making the sword more effective when locking blades. Okay. The sleep dart's sedative effect is immediate even in combat. That could be good. Crossbow range, reload, and accuracy, those are all things I want.
You must be exhausted. I advise that you get some sleep. Your life will get even more difficult soon. You should rest while you can.
Yeah, you're right. I'll head to my room for sleep.
Sleep well.
Alright. I'll end the episode here, and we'll continue from here next time. So, thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.